Looking for a cheap camera deal? You're in luck. We have a ton of great camera deals here for anyone who doesn't want to pay full whack. Even though you are looking for something of a bargain, the best cheap cameras are now so advanced that you don't have to pay through the nose anyway. 1. Nikon D3500. The entry-level model in Nikon's DSLR range looks a lot like the previous Nikon D3400 before it, but subtle design tweaks have improved on a winning formula to produce a camera that's small and light, yet comfortable to grip. It's an entry-level model, but it has a 24.2 megapixel sensor, as good as those in cameras at twice the price. And it offers a very good 5 frames per second continuous shooting speed for a beginner's camera. The guide mode will help beginners get started and understand the basic principles, and the D3500 has all the manual controls you need to learn about photography as you improve your skills. The cheapest deals include a non-VR kit lens, but we'd recommend paying a little bit extra for the VR version. 2. Canon EOS Rebel SL2 EOS 200D. The EOS Rebel SL2, also known as the EOS 200D, isn't Canon's most junior DSLR proposition, but the fact that it launched relatively recently means that it provides novice users with some of the company's latest technological goodies. These include the excellent dual-pixel CMOS autofocus system, which delivers mirrorless-like autofocus performance in live view and effective adherence in movies, as well as the latest Digic 7 processing engine and the full Wi-Fi, NFC, and Bluetooth triplet of wireless connectivity options. 5 frames per second burst shooting is decent, and the option to attach a microphone boosts its full HD video capabilities, while compatibility with decades worth of quality Canon lenses only further enhances its appeal. The only significant area where the camera is a little behind is with its 9-point autofocus system. If you want something a little more capable here, the older EOS 750D model or Nikon's 39-point D5300 alternative would be worth considering. 3. Canon EOS 4000D. Canon has deliberately designed the EOS 4000D down to a price, even to the point of using a single paint color for all the buttons, integrating the power switch into the mode dial and using a plastic lens mounting plate. It uses Canon's old 18-megapixel sensor rather than one of its newer 24-megapixel sensors, while the kit lens is quite basic and lacks both stabilization and quiet USM autofocus. And yet the EOS 4000D takes decent pictures and is a ludicrously cheap route into DSLR photography. And if you do get bitten by the camera bug, you'll already have a foothold in Canon's huge DSLR lens and accessory system. 4. Olympus OMD EM1 Mark II. Another example of a camera that's a little older and now a great value because of it. Has an admittedly aging 16-megapixel micro four thirds sensor, but on top of this it boasts a 2.36 million dot EVF, a tilting touchscreen, a very effective 5-axis image stabilization system, Wi-Fi, and 8.5 frames per second burst shooting mode. 4K video doesn't feature, but you do get a 4K time-lapse function that lets you output images captured over an extended period of time as 4K quality time-lapse video. And the full HD recording to 60p offered is at least the next best thing. Definitely a camera that's designed for those who want far more than just point-and-shoot control. The body is laden with buttons and switches, and you can customize these external controls to a high degree. Furthermore, an exhaustive range of micro four thirds lenses makes it unlikely that the lens you need doesn't exist. Like what you see but want something a little more powerful? The more recent OMD EM1 Mark III is also one to check out. 5. Sony A6000. For a long time, it was Sony's A5100 that made more sense for the cash-strapped beginner looking to get to grips with mirrorless shooting. But as the A6000 has steadily dropped in price, it's now the clear favorite. Much like its RX100 model above, Sony has kept this in its mirrorless lineup for some time, and it continues to offer a very solid set of specs against other models in the same price bracket. Highlights include a 24.3 megapixel APS-C sensor, 11 frames per second burst option, Wi-Fi with NFC, and a tilting LCD screen on the back. But it's the excellent 179-point phase detect autofocus system and 2.36 million EVF that really show it to be a camera willing to perform to a standard beyond expectations at this level. 6. Panasonic Lumix GX850, GX800. It's one of the cheapest Macro Four Thirds cameras you can buy right now. But with 4K video and a tilting, selfie-friendly touchscreen on board, it trounces many competitors straight away. There's lots to love elsewhere too, from the depth from defocus, DFD autofocus system, and built-in Wi-Fi, to the ability to extract 8-megapixel stills from 4K video footage. The 5 frames per second burst shooting mode is respectable too. And while the 210-shot battery is a little on the low side, no doubt a concession made to get the camera so small, you can at least usefully charge it up via its USB port. Overall, a unique, well-priced proposition for the first-time mirrorless user looking to travel light. 7. Canon PowerShot SX 620HS. Most manufacturers have shifted their focus to the top end of the compact market, which means there's not as much choice as there used to be here. Nevertheless, Canon's 20.2-megapixel PowerShot SX 620HS stands out. While many other cameras at this level are fairly pedestrian in what they offer, the PowerShot SX 620HS's big draw is its 25x optical zoom, which offers a focal range equivalent to 25 to 625 mm in 35 mm terms. And this is, thankfully, bolstered by Canon's intelligent image stabilizer. The spec sheet is rounded off with full HD video, a 3-inch LCD screen that has a very respectable 922K dot resolution, and both Wi-Fi and NFC. Sure, it'd be nice to have a touchscreen and a more recent processing engine, but these are far from essential on such a camera. 8. Panasonic Lumix ZS50 TZ70. If you have a slightly more accommodating budget, the Panasonic ZS50, also known as the TZ70, is well worth considering over the Canon above. Not only do you get the advantage of a broader zoom range that ends at a mammoth 720mm, 35mm equivalent setting, but you also benefit from a built-in electronic viewfinder, very useful in harsh light. Panasonic has even provided peaking for precision when manually focusing and a time-lapse video option, and even RAW shooting, although this is arguably less significant on a camera with such a small sensor. On that subject, don't let the sensor's 12.1 megapixel pixel count throw you off. Panasonic deliberately reduced this from the 18.1 megapixel TZ60 that came before it for the benefit of image quality in low light, full HD video recording to 60p, effective hybrid OIS image stabilization, and both Wi-Fi and NFC on top of all this makes the ZS50 unquestionably brilliant value for money. 9. Sony RX100. Sony's original RX100 was released all the way back in 2012, but the fact that you can still pick one up brand new says a lot. Blending a 20.1 megapixel 1-inch type sensor with the 28-100 f1.8 to 4.9 lens inside a tiny body, this was the camera that very much raised the standard for such models. The series has since welcomed 4 further iterations, and these have all been very well received. But in terms of value for money, the original model is still difficult to argue with. Sure, its age means it misses out on a few newer technologies, but you get steady shot image stabilization, 10 frames per second burst shooting, full HD video to 60p, and a control ring around the lens for more immediate changes to key settings. 10. Panasonic FZ1000. One of the pricier cameras on this list, but the FZ1000 offers such superb value for money that it simply can't be omitted. On top of the very solid foundation of a 20.1 megapixel 1-inch sensor and a 25-400 f2.8-4 Leica branded optic, Panasonic has gifted the camera with Power iOS image stabilization, RAW file capture, 12 frames per second burst shooting, and both Wi-Fi and NFC. Videos are captured in both 4K and Full HD quality, with a 120 frames per second setting in Full HD for slow motion output, together with advanced options such as zebra patterning and even a 3.5mm mic port. While a 2.36 million dot electronic viewfinder is partnered with a fully articulated 3-inch LCD. Can you find another camera that can provide all of that for the same money? Nope.